promise of additional technical support, additional human support from Ducati engineers in that Spanish garage, that he will. Marc Marquez then it is that leads the action on day 2 here in Valencia, a 1:36.64, the best time we've seen today, about half a second away from Izioso, Alex Rins, Jack Miller and the brilliant Iker Lecuona. What a performance by the rookie there, 1:31.515 within a second of Marc back open, and we're getting some more MotoGP action at this penultimate test of the season.
We are now joined in the commentary box by a familiar face to us. Yeah, I just said that I will not be tempted into talking about this. I refused to comment.
Okay, Moto 2 and 3 and MotoGP. Do riders request changes in Moto 2 and 3? For example, the example he gave was Lorenzo wanted a new fuel tank, etc.
Respects on MotoGP bikes are the change and the constant work that goes on behind the scenes. You know, a chassis manufacturer might come with 2 or 3 updates a year, but the electronics and the
Reddit is a gold mine for some of those names, also slightly questionable, so I'm making sure I read them before I actually just automatically read them in my head off air first before I actually say them on there, because you never know. Can we get a breakdown of the top speeds of the 2019 and 2020 bikes?
But then this circuit is so difficult to judge top speed. I mean, the only noticeable change I've seen from any of the bikes so far is that the Suzukis look like they've got a bit more poke.
Yeah, I'd say sit tight and wait until early February. Sepang is...
It can, I mean, I really like engine brake because it helps the bike stop. You can adjust the position on track, meaning 2 cylinders, because if you use all 4, it's too abrupt. That makes sense. It's too much change. It's not smooth. So they can just use
the Repsol Honda this year. I mean, okay, maybe at the start of the year we didn't know because of the injuries, but I was convinced that he'd turn that around. And so for me, that also was a massive surprise, but I agree.
Exactly. I mean, I was going to say, he didn't just overshadow his fellow rookies, who were always going to have a difficult year anyway, first season MotoGP, but you know, if you look at the likes of Maverick Vinales and Valentino.
But you could accidentally go into neutral, same problem. So these bikes leave the garage, you see them pull a lever, then they put it in out of that, you know, neutral into gear, and they don't go. It cannot go into neutral until they come back in. They pull that.
I think Danny Pedrosa has been a huge help to them, and I think that I don't think we should try and get too carried away. I don't think they're going to try. I don't think they're going to transform into a team that are, you know, fighting for podiums week in, week out. If you look at Paul Espargaro's results this year, I suppose what you've got to look at is trying to make a forward step from there. And before his...
him actually back out with the regular riders on track once again. So, got another question coming from Reddit.
Curious what you would like to improve for there.
We have to try still many things. For sure, we need a little bit more power. Arrive a little bit more, but it's not enough. Our competitor.
Vinales then, so sounds like it's been a little bit of an excursion
on circuit. For him to do it against his teammate Dovi and against Marc Marquez, absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
Second for me was Petrucci. Mugello is top.
Yeah, that's I got to say that's one of my highlights as well.
What about Simon? You got any, mate?
Oh, you just caught me back in pit lane. Oh, I haven't had a moment to think about this, but everyone that interviews him, everyone that spends time with him is fond of Danilo, you know, his sense of humour. He's so, what side? You could feel the riders thinking, this is our shot, and he turns up and goes fastest in the next session. It was, to me, stunning. Everyone, team managers, you know, so for sure, Carl turned up at Phillip Island with this horrible memory, you know, of this really nasty break in his leg, fast crash.
Second over the line, and it showed that Alex Rins on his day can really mix it and take it and scrap it out with the very best.
It got a high-pitched ending, which is always a good sign, and it got the mat with him in close quarters in a race, so it is interesting.
Yeah, I don't think that will ever happen with Marc, will it?
No.
I mean, you know, if Marc and Alex one day are racing together, Marc we've got a problem here for Valentino Rossi.
Some
lights all over that dashboard and a bit of smoke, yeah, so...
Be along there soon enough. At least it's not looking a bit like the Aprilia at all.
Guys, I just wanted to add that...
Something else I just wanted to add about the brothers, something else that came out in Aleix's interview, which I just remembered. You know, him and Pol had that big battle in Malaysia, well, Pol and him, obviously, they saw each other a lot between that and this race here. Pol goes and spends a lot of time with his kids, etc. And he said,
just saying that it'll all change if Alex starts giving him, you know, a hard time, and then it's gloves off.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. Yeah, well, I think we all agree with that one. We'll let you know if that changes or as and when it does. Matt, back to you, mate.
well, actually, interesting you say that. So we do have a question, not about specifically Zark.
Brilliantly, poor old Scott Reddy, when he came to Aprilia, his first year with Aprilia, what did he have, 3-4 races? And he was told he wasn't needed. I mean, that's no good. You've got to... just out of interest, where does it come from? Because you are a keen bird watcher, and I'm just interested.
What marvels of nature, for example, birds of prey are, like falcons. You know, there's a reason why this, for example, the Suzuki Hayabusa actually means peregrine falcon, because you get a bit of an adrenaline rush, much like I think these guys kind of get. And obviously I've got no experience on a motorcycle really, especially not a fast motorcycle. So that's, I guess, that was my adrenaline rush back in the day.
Well, there you go. Thank you.
Of our feet, and much like yourself, Steve, as they came towards the final corner, I myself had a few squeaky shouting sessions and probably burst the eardrums of a few little.
Morbidelli, sorry, Steve, he got that wrong going into the first corner. Thankfully, it's got a positive outcome for Frankie Morbidelli. He's just doing a bit of dirt tracking. You know, but he found the gravel far too often in his rookie season. He said, based on pre-season to where he actually finished on a consistent basis this year, it was a year of some frustration below what he was expecting.